Hello, Commanders. Welcome to another day in Star Trek Fleet Command. We are going to review the patch notes today. There's some stuff I like, some stuff I don't like. I will tell you this, that I guess like always, I'm cautiously optimistic. My personality is I try to look for the best in things and people, and try and find those things. So I would say before everyone gets out their pitchforks and torches and all that jazz, let's discuss it a little bit, pull up the patch notes, so I'll read through some of the things that I kind of noted in there. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, it really helps to continue to grow the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it really helps us out here. And then feel free to hit that thumbs up and the bell notification so you can be aware of future content as it's released. So I'll try and give you all some good information, because I know not every one of you is on Discord, where a lot of the good information, it seems like that's where it gets disseminated. And on that note, feel free as well. I always put my Discord link in the description below. You may have to hit the read more, see more link, but it's there. So feel free to join us, and we can. I love interacting and sharing crew ideas. We have new hostiles that come, and I'm sure we'll have discussions there and whatnot about the armadas. So we'll talk about that. So the difficult part for me, I guess from the get-go, is that I think people are going to have this problem. Like now we've got 2 treasuries a month. The first one has officer shards. The second one at the end of the month is like no officer shards, but it has decent resources, it seems like, and ship parts. And now I mean, we don't get this every month. I've seen this happen a few times. Just wonder if we're going to go down this trend of having multiple patches a month. And if so, is that just Scopely's way of sucking more dollars out of us? I don't know. I kind of feel like the Xindi grind has been so painful the last couple of months, and we've gotten multiple loops. 3 out of 3 months we've had new loops, and now there's more stuff to do. So that's just my initial thoughts when you first think about having a second patch and they keep throwing things at us to buy and whatnot. It's kind of difficult, but if you look at some of the stuff, some of it's actually helpful. Some of it is has the potential, at least the potential to save some time in the game, it seems like, but there's certainly some stuff, but not for everyone, it seems, either. So that's a little frustrating. So let's talk about it. We're going to have new Xindi armadas, the spheres, finally coming to the game. Kind of expected that because of the roadmap, and this is the last month, so they had to squeeze it in somewhere. Why they didn't have it in the, just one patch this month, and it was part of that. Maybe they just felt like it'd be too overwhelming. I'm trying to be positive here. View screen video hub, which I think is kind of cool, or has potential there as well. G6 cloaks. I'd love to hear from you all if you think cloaks are that amazing. I don't, but for G6 players, you big spenders out there, there's a chance to cloak and pop someone else with your cloak, I guess. Conversion rate change, new primes, refit, and more. All right, so Xindi armadas are new challenge for players 51 plus. So unfortunately, this means unless you are 51 plus, you will not probably be able to engage in this content. Now, I don't know if that means you can't even join the armadas. My guess is that they're hard enough that you probably won't be able to, or won't be able to do much. They sound very, very difficult from what we've seen, or from what I've seen in the patch notes here. Once again, this is the first look, so we'll see. And let's see, for the purpose of consolidating older armadas, these armadas encourage players to find new strategies and aim to save time by providing rewards from old armadas as well as new rewards. I've looked at some of the rewards. Let me pull up here. Let's go to the store, the Alliance store, and of course things take a while to load. This morning, these like the images for these Xindi ones didn't even show. Actually, I take that back. I think the uncommon one was just loading. but maybe they're fixing some stuff. I don't know. Okay, so let's have a quick look. First thing I noticed is some really cool stuff in here, and I like all the different things. One thing is there's no little I button, so I can't click on here to actually see what the roles look like, because as you see, we've got guaranteed. Cool thing here is you have guaranteed rare directives, so you'll need to run the uncommons, it looks like, to feed your rare directive pool. So just a quick thought there. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting. Maybe I can remember to take some screenshots if maybe we'll get some of these and see how it goes. But they've got artifacts in here, which is helpful for me. If I can have if we can get some of the bigger members of my alliance who are able to do these, then maybe be able to source some of this, because I'm in a bracket where it's been very hard. I can kill, I think, 3 in my range for the silent hostiles. So anyways, not really progressing very far in that. I'm sure some of you are way ahead of me there. It has uncommon, rare, and so forth materials. Once again, depends upon the chances. One thing that I'm really struggling with right now that seems to be a big bottleneck for me, and I think there's at least 1 or 2 other people in my alliance that I've talked to about this, they're in the 50 low mid 50 range trying to go up, is the rare. I'm hoping to get some rare. I probably still need, I don't know, 10,000, maybe not that much, maybe 6,000 to 8,000 to go up to Ops 56, which is where I'm hoping to get my G5 rare. But then even getting there, I'm hearing that there's, and I've looked at a little bit, but just a lot of rare is going to be needed. So this addition of materials is fantastic if you ask me. It also has ship parts, which is very much needed. So that will be interesting. We'll have to see how hard these armadas are. So that's just a kind of a quick look there. Let's look at the other one, the rare. So, and this looks like level bracketed. Let me hop back out. So it has some stuff in here, 54 to 56, 55, 58, but failed to mention that you've got Borg, Dominion. So there's different things here that's going to limit how much you're going to have to run of the other armadas. I have noticed that, like with Sloan, you can get more loot, but you're still running at the armadas all the time, and the uncommon, I believe, are like every 2 days. So it comes up quite frequently. So being able to get this, some additional sourcing so you don't have to run those so much, would be fantastic and a time saver. So let's hop back into the rare. You got regular Armada credits, Borg, and Dominion again. You got the Vinculum fragments, which will help with your turn-ins for your Borg to level your Talios, your tally. And then it has some more of these artifacts, materials, resources. And it looks like still no I and no, so I don't know what we're going to get on some of these. I imagine that you have like a 5% or 2% or some really low percent chance to get this, but how awesome would it be to once in a while be able to get that 5-star 3,000? That would be really helpful. And then we've got ship parts. And then temporal disruptors, and it looks like we've got uncommon ships in here for me and my ops level. Once again, don't know the chance, but there's also the rare ships. I personally, and one reason I want to go to 56, in case any of you are interested in, I've got the credits to buy a Sanctus. So I want to get a new ship and help me with some of my, some like the silent enemy hostiles and so forth. So kind of really looking forward to that. And this is interesting here for me because even though I am miles away from getting like the Enterprise D is my ship after that. That's my plan. And so having even a little chance here to be able to pull some of these, I don't know what the chances are at this level, but are fantastic because normally you have to be within like a Ops Ranger 2, it seems like, for certain things, ships to come into the game. So yeah, decent. If you get any, then that would be awesome. And then sourcing for Tucker and Archer. So that is great. I think Tucker, once he's leveled up, will be great. And so having this addition to the game of some officer sourcing, I think is fantastic. So that's just a peek. And like I said, I'll have to take some screenshots and see what the actual roles look like as we get into that. So these armadas, it looks like, let's talk about things we want to watch out for. And I don't think it talks, it just says here you want to work together as a team. So we'll have to look at the armadas as they're launched and as we're attacking them to see what they look like. They're going to be in G5 space, I think, here. So a start of each round, if the final weapon is not burning, so you're going to need to bring like a Giorgio or something to make sure you're burning the opponent. Its weapon damage is increased by X%. So you want to keep the burning going. So whoever is bringing a burning officer, you want that person to be max probably. Because I imagine if the damage is increasing and the rounds go long enough, you could take some serious damage. Every 8th round, the final weapon fires a super weapon, dealing lethal damage for one ship. So we're probably talking billions and billions of damage. We haven't seen it yet, or I haven't seen it yet. This weapon can be disabled. If the final weapon, let's see, if the Zindi final weapon is assimilated at the start of the round, the weapon would fire. So assimilation is also going to be a huge thing in the game. There we go. Live in G5 space, 2 rarities, uncommon and rare. So we'll have to see. I guess the negative with this that I see is this. That this is adding some time saving into the game, but it looks like it's only for 51 plus. Because you're adding these other things, which is nice, but unless you're a 51 plus player, you're still not getting any time savings from this. So for me, I feel like that's a big miss. The community has been begging and begging, and we've been talking about quantity over, it's quantity over quality. Let's switch that. Quality over quantity. I feel like I just did a Willy Wonka thing there, if anyone knows that reference. Anyways, so that's kind of a big miss to me. I think you really need to add options for everyone in the game because there's a lot of people that are just overwhelmed. I have someone on my Discord who just reset their account. That's right. Reset their account because there's just too dang much to do and they were not having the fun anymore. So you have people leaving the game, you have people starting over, and you know, that's person by person, you know, your decision. But if you have people doing that, that's not good game design, if you ask me. Okay. So it just talks about here the stuff we looked at. View screen. This is interesting because it seems like there's... And I love being a content creator. I just started this last September, and I appreciate all the support and everything. It's been fun. It's been engaging. I love it. Of course, you know, I can't do as much as like a Rev Deuce or a Ultimate DJs, but I do try and help out as much as I can and make useful content for you all. But this is interesting because assuming that this view screen isn't like what we've had before in our station where it just says retrieving all the time, then it's interesting for those who need information to be able to disseminate that information easier, I guess. There's still, it seems like you don't get as much information out of that as you would from maybe a content creator that's analyzing things maybe, but at least just to get people started or to get some good information out, it seems like it could be a good thing. So we'll have to kind of, you know, wait and see on that one. There's a G6 cloaks. Tell me if you hate it, if you love it, whatever. I won't be doing it because I'm not big into cloaking. I don't see a lot of value in that personally. But it's also probably doesn't match my play style since I'm mostly PvE kind of guy. Armada Command. This is, you know, people are going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, come on, only the whales get that. Yeah, well, we do have the quick start that you can get through the Section 31 that is easy to source, and that does help. This, I would love to see if there's, even in 3 to 6 months down the road, and I know it won't be that long because that's only like Scopey's timeline for ships. That's probably 3 years out. There's some crazy number, right? But I would love to see that this is something players have been asking for a long time, and a real annoyance, and Scopely's turned it into a way to make money. And I can't exactly blame them, but gosh, if you're coming out with something like this, please, please, please come out with something that has some sourcing for the regular players. So we'll have to see if there's some sourcing on that as we look more into this patch in the coming weeks. And then this doesn't confuse me at all. You know, if you want to speed up your game, I'm just taking it as it is. This is something for the NX01, so that is something that can speed up that if you're interested in doing that and maxing things out sooner. This one's interesting to me. We'll have to see how this plays out, but they have percentage leaderboards. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but if there's a chance that you're going to be able to do well and get the rewards easier, so there's more rewards for people in the community, then I'm all for it. New refit, Columbia NX01 for 40 plus, doubles the output of Officer Exchange, containing rare and epic Voyager officer shards in the Xborg faction store. That is really, I think, valuable because a lot of the officers there, you know, especially the rare ones, just thinking off the top of my head, I mean, they're all valuable, but the rare ones that can really help your game, like Habulana Taurus, for example, having her below deck, if you have maxed Habulana Taurus, I mean, fantastic officer. Neelix to help with your Voyager, you know, and certain officers like that are going to trigger burning, you know, armadas, going to trigger burning easier, things like that, so you don't have to have a officer slot on your bridge of your ship taken up. So that is fantastic. I hope there's some kind of sourcing for everyone, but chances are this is going to be, I mean, it doesn't list underneath the Prime section, and it doesn't have any more information here, so maybe they'll have some sourcing. Fingers crossed. Probably not, but fingers crossed. Let's see here. So I did like these two here. I'm not in the G6 range, so I can't speak much to the conversion rate, but hoping that helps alleviate some of the costs for the those in the G6 range. Reduce spawn timers for FKR and Eclipse Armadas. I love that. It seems like that the FKR respawn times aren't too bad, but hopefully this Eclipse Armada one will be a huge help, because every Thursday it's impossible to launch the Armadas because they just don't spawn fast enough. And that has been a big problem for a long time. So hopefully that will alleviate that problem. And then G4, G5 cloaking refits the faction store. I looked at that, and if you're interested in that, it is actually in the game. And let's just open it up real quick so we can look at the cost. So I think they just had the uncommon. See, stuff's still loading, so it's patch day. What can you do? So that was in there before, I believe. The others were not. Okay, so I thought that this one had. It's interesting. I looked at the Klingons and they had the rare ship in there. Interesting. Okay. So at least they have the cloaking shard for the USSA Enterprise. I thought, is that just the epic ships that's in there? I swear that the Klingons had. See, they've got the Coronar. Why not the Newton? Where's the Newton? Let's hop back over there. I don't think they have the Newton, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. See, there's that cloaking one. Unless it's like out of order or something. I don't know. I don't see it. If you see it, let me know. Let's look at the Romulan real quick. So there's that. Gladius. There we go. Willem's in there. Newton's not in there. All right. Maybe maybe they're intentionally showing the Romulans and the Klingons some loving, but not the Federation, because Federation has so much stuff, so many officers in the game that they want to balance it out somehow. Alrighty, well, that's a review of the patch notes. I guess my biggest gripes I've already kind of mentioned. I do not like the fact that they have multiple patches in a month. That just seems like more money grab opportunities to me. I do like that there is more sourcing for resources in the game that really help some of the players to get farther into the game than they have before. especially for those in the 50 plus range. They're really probably trying to get people into the G6 area so more players can play with the wealth. So I'm balancing some things out there. There's things like the percentage leaderboards. We'll have to see how they play out. I don't like that it doesn't give time settings for everyone in the game. I've talked with a number of players either through messages on my YouTube channel or in Discord, and everyone's kind of hurting where they just get really frustrated. There's so much to do in the game that they really need to add more extensions to, I don't know, the export faction or something to make some of these loops kind of go away so you don't have to focus on them and can enjoy the newer stuff. And I think that should be the intention. So anyways, those are my thoughts. We'll have to see how patch day goes, how these G5, I guess the spheres go, these new armadas, leaderboards, changes to leaderboards. There's a lot to kind of dive into and explore, but I'd love to hear your thoughts if you're excited for this. If there's anything that I haven't covered, or you have an opinion about something that you're like, yeah, you didn't cover this and this is great, or man, that sucks and here's what I think. Just no middle fingers to Scopely in my Discord, please. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for your support, and we will talk to you next time.